Okay, so we all know Alex Pereira was a bit of a weight bully at 185, dominating his opponents with that left hook that he had. The freakish power that was stopping everyone right in their tracks. But the question is, how was he actually making 185 pounds with him rebounding 30 pounds 24 hours later? It was one of the craziest weight cuts in that time. And to be honest, probably one of the craziest weight cuts in UFC history. How someone can weigh in at 185 and then put on 30 pounds within 24 hours. So today I'm going to go over how Alex Pereira was actually making middleweight. So how did he regain 30 pounds in 24 hours is the question. Now, I don't know exactly how he was structuring his weight cut, but I'm going to assume that it was just like any other weight cut, just 3 times the difficulty. So he's never actually publicly released his rehydration protocol, but I'm going to go over what I'm predicting was his rehydration protocol. He was obviously doing extreme water loading, heavy sweat sessions in the sauna with the sauna suit on, drastically reducing water intake and food intake in the final days before he weighed in. And don't be surprised if there was diuretics involved. This is all speculation, so none of this is an actual confirmed fact. And I can almost predict confidently that majority of fight week was focused on water manipulation to get down to 185. So how and why would he do this? Was it out of pure spite of Adesanya, or was it just simply sheer fighting spirit? Not many people understand the mental strength it takes to cut down to 185 when you're his size. It is extreme. He's putting his body through hell to get down to 185. There are so many things that would have been affecting him physically during that weight process. How could it have been affecting him long-term physically? Although he's been looking fantastic at 205 and now he's making the move to heavyweight, could cutting to 185 for 9 to 11 years in and outside the UFC affected him physically? We don't know, but it could have effectively caused kidney damage from chronic dehydration cycles. It could have definitely caused heart enlargement over time. It most definitely caused brain cognitive from repeated dehydration, or maybe, just maybe, some hormonal disruption. So how much was this weight cut actually affecting his performance? A lot of people speculate that that loss to Izzy back in 2023 did have something to do with the weight cut. From him looking drained, didn't look as sharp and explosive as he does at 205. Once he moved up, he completely looked different. A more dangerous and more explosive, faster reaction time fighter. Which makes you wonder, was that weight cut genuinely hurting his performance? And let's keep in mind, he was cutting to 185 and destroying people. So to answer the question, I do think, and a lot of people else would agree, that that weight cut did have something to do with the KO loss to Izzy. After moving to 205, Alex looked noticeably better, faster, stronger, better reaction time, chin was holding up better. So I think we can all agree that the weight cut definitely was having some repercussions on his performance. You can call him a weight bully or whatnot, but cutting that much amount of weight, I think, would leave anybody in a slight disadvantage. But yes, at the end of the day, Alex Pereira at 185 was a weight bully. Same as Islam Makhachev. He was most certainly a weight bully at 155. He was walking around 80 kilos before he would start his calorie deficit and his weight cut to make 70.
How much weight do you cut?
Today morning, my weight 180.
You're massive.
All fighters who fight 155, minimum, they have 178, 177.
Yeah. What do you get to when you're not in camp? And you're training every day?
I'm not that guy who eats everything, you know? I don't like the sugar. I don't drink cola like maybe 4 or 5 years.
Next is Coca-Cola with ice.
My weight maximum 182, I think.
One thing I did notice is how well he did rebound from when he weighed into 185 to fight night. And I think genetics do have to play a big role in this, but his rehydration protocol must have been spot on. I think experience does come into play, as he was cutting to 185 for 9 to 11 years, so his body was most certainly conditioned to the process. There is one thing I need to figure out, is what was his rehydration protocol after weighing in at 185? Was it just a standard UFC PI rehydration protocol, or was it some Brazilian black magic protocol? So I've written here what methods did he use from start to finish. There isn't the exact methods he used, but we're just going off a rough. Because I searched for hours and I could not find his rehydration protocol, his weight cut process, what he does on fight week. It's just not public anywhere. And if someone knows, please let me know. So to be honest, it's very hard to find out what he actually does, but going off MMA weight cutting itself, it would just be like every other fight week cut, just 3 times more the difficulty. And to make it even more crazy, this guy has never missed weight in the UFC. Like, not once. He got to the UFC after so many kickboxing fights in glory, reigning champion in Glory, and walked in the door and just dominated everybody. And he's still dominating everybody to this day. So me and other people, I'm sure of it, can't wrap their head around how he actually does it. It is actually some chosen person shit. You know that meme of those two guys filming that video and he's like, I am chosen by God.
God chose me for this fight. God is the teacher. Derek is the student and I am God's instrument. When I squeeze your lungs, Derek, and you beg me for life, then your heart will open up to the Lord.
I'm gonna knock him out round one, bitch. Wait. What did he say again? He said God chose him. That doesn't even make sense, really.
That's Alex Pereira, essentially. No glaze intended. So what he does most likely are these methods. But let's keep in mind, I'm guessing here. So based on his size and the amount he rebounds, we all know it was from doing an extreme water cut. And it does make me speculate, was he using diuretics? And let's keep in mind, this is all a big speculation. It is not a fact. So how could this have been affecting him physically? So coming back to the Izzy loss, a common side effect from constant rehydration, especially heavy weight cuts as he was doing to 185, is brain shrinkage from dehydration. And brain shrinkage from dehydration increases knockout risks by a margin. So could this have anything to do with the KO loss to Izzy? Most certainly. And this is not taking anything away from Izzy. Izzy was a freak in his prime. Unfortunately, we've seen him go down 4 times now, but Izzy's one of the greats and always will be. Can cause reduced reaction time and cognition on fight night, heart stress from rapid water loss, which then obviously causes heart enlargement over time, weakened muscles that would not have recovered fully in a 24-hour period. I can't imagine how hard it would have been to get to 185 being his size. He would have been on a diet all year round, knowing that he had to get down to 185 multiple times a year, right? How hard is that on a 35-year-old's body? Extremely, right? Like, obviously a younger person's probably going to be able to cut to 185 being that size much easier. But a 35-year-old, come on man, that's got to be tough. But I'm pretty happy to see him move up to heavyweight. I think he's going to be a little bit undersized. I think light heavyweight was perfect for him, but shit, I'm trying to see him become 3-division champ. But yes, at the end of the day, the success Alex Pereira had at 185 was abnormal. And the success he's had at 205 and now the success he is potentially going to have at heavyweight is absurd. It's crazy. That's a generational athlete right there. Now, if you have questions about weight cutting itself and the diet that you have to go through to get as close to your weight range as possible, 8 to 10%, there is a link in the description where you can book a consultation call and talk to me for free. All right now.